The ambassador at large for international religious freedom says protecting religious liberty around the world remains a top priority for the Trump administration. Sam Brownback is marking a milestone for advocates this week. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby has the details from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. Ambassador Brownback says advocating for international religious freedom is his most important life's work. It's why he's celebrating a law passed 20 years ago, which made it a priority for the United States to work on behalf of people around the world who are persecuted because of their religious beliefs. 2 decades later, he says there's still a long way to go.
We believe there needs to be more religious freedom in the world. Unfortunately, 80% of the world's population lives in some sort of religiously restricted environment. And we don't think that's appropriate. We don't think that's good.
Ambassador Sam Brownback today vowing the Trump administration will continue to push for religious freedom for all people. It comes as the department marks the anniversary of the International Religious Freedom Act, a bipartisan bill signed by President Bill Clinton in 1998. Today, Brownback highlighted several key parts of the world: Iraq, Ukraine, and China. On Iraq, he's thankful to all those who advocate for Christians and other minorities. Today, a Yazidi woman spoke in Paris about bringing justice to those who commit crimes against the most vulnerable. Nadia Murad, co-winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize, was among the thousands of Yazidi women and girls who were kidnapped and enslaved by ISIS in 2014. Meanwhile, on Ukraine, Brownback says the United States supports an independent Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Kiev has been under the Russian Orthodox jurisdiction since the 1600s. Despite fears of violence, the ambassador says believers should be able to worship without fear of outside interference. Finally, on China, Brownback called out the communist government for a crackdown on worshipers, including Buddhists and Christians.
We, as the United States, believe this is wrong. That's why we've made them a country of particular concern for some period of time now, but also call on them to allow people to practice their religious freedom.
And that is the same message he has to countries around the world. This week, investigators at the United Nations are also highlighting another problem area, Myanmar. They say the military there is still carrying out a genocide against the minority Rohingya Muslims, hundreds of thousands of which have had to flee the country. Lauren.
Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department.